Live on YouTube. All right, I think we're also live on YouTube. Perfect. Please let us know in the live chat how the audio is. I see Jihan is on YouTube. Vitor, right on time. Hi guys. Let me see. I see Scott is on Facebook. So we're gonna be Ali and I. Hi, Ali, say hi.
Hi.
Tell us how the audio is. If you can hear us, we're gonna go over the most recent news in the past week about atheism, religion, secularism, politics. Hi Darko, I see Darko is waving on YouTube live chat. If you're on Facebook, if you wanna, your live chat will show up if you come on YouTube. So hop over to our YouTube channel. But I'll try to read the comments on Facebook live chat as well. So, okay, Victor is saying audio is okay, perfect. By the way, I saw we're going to be covering 10 news today, but I saw people are talking about Sharif Gabber, the atheist who is trapped in Egypt that is trying to get out. Apparently, there's some recent update on him. That's not because that's very recent. So these news that we collected for today is pre-selected, so we're not going to be covering it this week, but we are going to post it on our page about it, Ali, right? So people are updated, but we will cover it in the next week's summary. Who else is on? Karen, oh, Beej, sounds great. Greetings all. MR, I know, everyone. Okay, audio is great. Yeah, poor Sharif. Ali, before we get started, really quickly, do you want to go over our new patrons for this week so we could thank them?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to give a big thank you to Ben Powell, who pledged $1, Dave Lindop, $5, and Sally Black, $5. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, I see also Judy, Chrissy, John, and Eric on Facebook. Hi, guys. Okay, let's go to the... oh, wait. Let me bring up the first news, actually. Let's go to the first news.
First news is Christchurch shooting, 49 dead in terrorist attack at 2 mosques. Gunmen entered the Majid al-Noor Mosque in central Christchurch and opened fire. Footage live streamed from a body camera was broadcast on Facebook by a man identifying himself as Brenton Tarrant, a 28-year-old Australian. Another massacre happened at Linwood Mosque 4 miles away. In an online 74-page manifesto, the suspect said he had chosen New Zealand because of its location to show that even the most remote parts of the world were not free of mass immigration. In the days leading up to the attack, Tarrant posted photos to his Twitter account of what appears to be guns, ammunition, and a military-style vest. The weaponry is scrawled in references to ancient battles and more recent attacks against Muslims. He appeared in court this Saturday and had been remanded in custody until April 5th. At least 49 people have died, which is now up to 51.
50, yeah. So it was 49 before. When this article was posted, it was 49. Apparently, it's now 50. Okay, so, yeah. I actually went and watched the video. It was pretty fucking bad. There was one guy that he's now seen as he is a hero. One guy that I saw try to ran towards him trying to stop him, but he couldn't make him. But he was very brave. He really tried to, I don't know how many people watched it, but that guy really, if you see somebody shooting at you and you are thinking that I'm gonna run towards this guy with a gun to try to stop him for the sake of others, but he died as well. He was in the mosque. So he didn't make it, but he tried. One thing, Ali, you wanted to mention something about this? Because I have something to say about this.
I do. I don't think that, us sitting here talking about how absolute terrible this is going to be any different from what anyone has heard. This is an absolute atrocity, and I know that a lot of people around the world are very affected by it. But what was shocking during this attack was how many people from our community actually thought this was some sort of win for atheism or win for us.
Yeah.
And that was horrifying. I think that people who think that this was a win in any way are sick and deranged. And our admins, I want to give a huge thank you to our admins, both in our private group of over 85,000 people and our page of over 2 million people. They spent days of their lives working hard, tag teaming each other, relentlessly trying to keep hatred off of our group, and to keep posting people kept posting images of the body.
Not just hatred, because we do allow a lot of hatred on our, for the sake of free expression on our page. But this was actually.
I'm talking about the group.
Yeah. Oh, the group, not the page.
And the group, we can't allow it, or else Facebook will take us down.
Yeah, but
right?
Even the page, expression of violence, we don't like. Celebration of violence, we don't allow that. So the page, we have a page and we have a group, and the page is a lot more free than the group. But even on the page, any support for violence is removed. I mean, a lot of people, sometimes I feel like when people say, "Oh, come and condemn this," and like, really, do we need to come out and condemn this? Like, isn't this obvious? But then we see stuff like this in our own group, in our own Atheist Republic community. We see some, there was a lot. I mean, not most people, but there were still a lot of people seeing this as a win, and we have to. We have to acknowledge the amount of, toxic shit that we have. So, we have to accept that, a lot of people say, no, we criticize Islam, we don't support hatred for Muslims, but we have to acknowledge that we have people in our communities that's see eye to eye with people like this. I mean, if we don't admit that, then we're not going to fix anything. Like, we have to,
right.
a lot of times people point out that how much they're against this violence, but they don't point out that, within atheist communities, within Christian communities, within Islam communities. I mean, if we point out to toxic views within Muslim communities or Christian communities, we also have to point out to the ones that we have in our own community. Again, it has nothing to do with atheism or anything like that, but we have to acknowledge we have problems like this, right? We do. And if we want to improve, if we want to point fingers at other people, we also have to point fingers to our own community. So thank you to our admins that you said, like, this, they had to spend, the fact that they had to spend so much time adminning and cleaning up this mess on our group shows how big of a problem this is. Like, we have people in our community that looked at this and they're like, hey, what's the problem? They're Muslims. Like, we had that in our own community, and it wasn't one or two people. There was like shit ton of them, right?
Right. No, there were countless amount of people. There are so many people that got banned over this because what they wanted to do was come into our group and post pictures of the bodies and say, yay, look at this. This is awesome. And it was like, what are you even talking about? Cheering and just being excited that innocent people were dead just because of their beliefs. I mean, isn't that exactly what we fight against? I mean, we don't want people killing atheists for our beliefs. The hypocrisy was just. I mean,
it's weird that we even have to point it out, but okay. So I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Like, oh, we're against violence. Like, really, congratulations. Of course,
right.
But I think the more unclear part is that some atheists within our own community might say, like, okay, let's just ban these idiots that are supporting this, but we shouldn't. Maybe they would be ashamed of publicly saying that we have so many people that are supporting this because it makes atheists look bad. And like, I don't give a shit how it makes atheists look. We have to improve our own communities, and we have to address the problems that we have in our community. And we can't shy away from pointing a finger to our own communities if we want to improve it. And again, I don't think, okay, so I don't think completely, okay, we have the group. The group was created for people that wanted a lot more rules. But I don't know, what do you think about people that say you shouldn't ban these people from the group or the page because now they're going to be going into their own bubbles, and they're not going to be exposed to. This is how you create radicals, by not.
Well, I would 100% agree with them, completely. If Facebook were my platform, I wouldn't be banning people for this. I think that we need to call these people out. We need to give them an opportunity to learn. But Facebook is not our platform, and Facebook sets the idea that in a private group, we are responsible directly for what our members post. So if our members post hate speech or gore or anything like that, that Facebook finds, against
Okay,
their.
but what about the page though? Like, okay, so if somebody comes, okay, the group, I understand that we have to remove them, because if we don't, then Facebook is going to take out the entire group, even if we didn't post it. But the page, if somebody comes and comments on our Facebook page that, hey, I think this guy did a good job because they're Muslim, should we remove that comment? Or leave it so that they are challenged by others, and also for people to see that we have some problems within, like, a lot of atheists have this, they make claims like, oh, well, atheists are better. When was the last time atheists asked for violence? And I'm like, well, we have our own share of assholes, and I want those comments to stay so people could don't go around and say like, oh, atheists don't want violence. Well, we do have some people, atheists, that want violence, and so I think not removing those comments serves to show other atheists that don't make general positive claim about atheists, and also for people to challenge it. Should we remove that from the page, or should we let it stay? These comments.
No. Those comments are things that I think we should let stay. The things that we removed were the actual links to the video, because people can choose to go and see that themselves, not accidentally stumble upon it while they're on our page, and direct images of dead bodies, which again were followed by cheers of yay, another dead Muslim, which I think that's disgusting. But again, those are two things that can put our page in danger as well. But for the most part, if people want to come there and, make comments and cheer, I think that, all their bosses get to see this if they're ever looking on Facebook. Right. Family members, friends, people get to actually see who you really are. So, yeah, show people who you really are and take opportunities to learn.
So one comment, by the way, somebody on Facebook that don't see it anymore, when it went a little bit, I missed it. They would say like, oh, there was attacks on Christians. We do have reports. We are covering a news on attacks on Christians today by Muslims. So don't, like, people that think we're ignoring that. We're not ignoring that. Yuval is saying, Atheist Republic, leave vile comments to be challenged. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. I agree with that. Another one is saying on YouTube, it's not only the violence, sure we are all capable of hatred, but some crimes are worse because they are done in such a cold-blooded way. I do have to point out that I do think, I mean, this news should get a lot of attention because we need to see what the problem is and how we can deal with it. But I do think that, I do hope that Muslims being killed I mentioned on Twitter that let's also not bring attention to a lot of Muslims that are being killed in Yemen right now, right? And I also posted a link to a charity so people could donate to that, given that so many people were paying attention to the story. I mean, these 50 people are now dead, okay? Nothing can bring them back, but there are other people, now that people are paying attention to this, are thinking like, okay, there are people now being killed right now, other Muslims that are being killed right now, and maybe we should pay attention to that. And some people accuse me of trying to divert attention away from this. Well, I mean, if you're paying attention to this, there are things that are happening today now that you could, these 50 people, there's nothing we can do anymore. Like, now that you think this is a problem, we should pay attention to stuff that is continuing to happen. I don't understand why Muslims being killed in Yemen are not getting as much attention as Muslims being killed in New Zealand. And again, people always say, well, because you don't expect it in New Zealand, so yeah, you don't expect it, but it doesn't mean that that the Muslims in Yemen don't matter, right? I mean, the fact that because you expected in Yemen, that means now we're okay with it. Like, so I mean, how sad is that? That because you're like, well, we expected in Yemen. So what? Like now so that means that we're just gonna let it go because it's not. I mean, how many Muslims are being killed in Yemen? Like the numbers is in thousands, and so this New Zealand one is 50 in one day, but we have thousands of Muslims being killed in Yemen and it's happening today. It was happening yesterday, and now it's going to continue happening tomorrow. So if you care about these 50 Muslims that were killed in New Zealand, please also bring some attention to the Muslims that are being killed in Yemen.
Right.
They deserve your attention. But go on.
To that effect, I do give a lot of people sympathy credits when they feel really bad for the Muslims in New Zealand and not in Yemen because what happens every day. It's the equivalent to like New York City in America, right? There are tons of murders that happen all the time. It's no big deal. But if you go to some really small town where there are 200 people and someone gets murdered, it's a huge deal. It's very rare. It's different. It causes alarm. So
yeah.
I can understand.
I'm not okay. A lot of people say that. Oh, I understand. This is why this is getting attention. I'm not saying it shouldn't get attention. Of course, it should get attention. 50 innocent people were killed for no reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody. I'm just saying, if you care about these people, also care. Not that don't care about these people. Care about the Muslims that are being killed in Yemen. I'm just trying to say, care about these 50. Bring attention to this New Zealand deaths. Also, think now if you think this is bad, maybe you haven't noticed, but because many people haven't noticed, it's happening in Yemen right now. When I say that, it's not to say that this is getting more attention than it deserves. It's every attention that this story is getting in New Zealand is deserved. It should get more attention. We should figure out what's happening here, okay? But if you care about that, you just consider. You don't have to, but just consider looking at what's happening in Yemen. Write to your politicians. Donate to Save the Children or Doctors Beyond Borders if you want to help some people. They are also being killed. So and these are deaths that you could stop. These 50 people that died in New Zealand, you can't stop it. It's too late. But I'm talking about deaths that you could actually stop. If you don't want to donate or anything, just post about it. Just let more people know. Make it a voting issue. All right. Both Obama and Trump funded Saudi Arabia to kill innocent people in Yemen. And these are Muslims, and nobody gives a shit about them because they're poor, because they have no oil, and they're not strategically important because they're not in Syria or Iraq or anywhere. Nobody cares about them. Muslims don't care about them. America doesn't care about them. Europe doesn't care about them. We should care about them. Anyway, sorry. I think I completely changed the topic of the story.
That's okay. That's good.
All right, let me see what the top comment is. Rand is saying the good atheist attacks their religion, not its followers, and in that sense, through solid argument, not through solid bullets. My condolences. Then the second comment is by Emma. Emma is saying, just goes to show that any religion can have extremist terrorists, not just Islam. I think this guy had nothing to do with religion. This guy wasn't a religious extremist. He was just an extremist. If you read his manifesto, it wasn't because of Christianity or anything like that. He was just like a white ethno-nationalist. It wasn't. So Emma, that's not what happened here. I don't know what this guy's name, how to read it, but he's saying, "Wow, I thought atheists were enlightened people." Why did you think that? Every time I read when people read comments that they don't like on Atheist Republic, they say, "Wow, I thought atheists were supposed to be smart." Well, if you thought all atheists were supposed to be smart, you yourself are proof that that's not true. Because you can't be that smart if you just made a general assumption about a whole group of people. If you said, "Oh, wow, I thought atheists were supposed to be smart," well, Congratulations, you're one of the atheists that is not smart. So, okay, wow, I thought atheists were enlightened people. Most of these comments just add more fuel to the fire. Anyways, I don't. Okay, do you have anything else to add, or should I go to the next news?
No, we can go to the next news.
Oh, just one more comment by Beach. Beach saying his manifesto made it clear he was okay with people staying in their own countries. Yeah, I mean, again, when we try to explain why somebody did something, please don't assume that we're excusing it. It's important to try to explain what they did, because this is the only way how you could try to find out what is this disease that you're trying to cure, right? Again, when you go and study these people and you explain their behavior, explaining a behavior does not mean you're excusing a behavior. Okay, a lot of times people confuse that. I mean, when you go over the details and you read their manifesto and you look at their history, people are like, "Oh, you're like excusing it." No, you're not. Okay, you're just trying to figure out how and what went wrong in this guy's head. All right, next news.
All right. Man arrested after choking cab driver for singing Christmas songs in March.
What the fuck?
Clayton Lucas, a 25-year-old Pennsylvania man, choked the driver of his cab until he nearly passed out. He allegedly choked the driver, who refused to stop singing out-of-season Christmas songs, and Clayton was arrested and charged with aggravated assault.
Okay. Why is this in the news? Oh well, it's Hamed Mehta, friendly atheist, I guess we get.
Yeah.
But okay, so I mean, if Hamed thinks this is okay, so good thing he was arrested, I guess. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that? I mean, good thing he didn't actually kill the guy.
Well, that's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful he didn't actually die. I think that I don't know. I think this is in the news because so many people do feel annoyed about crazy things, and here's this guy trying to kill someone over Christmas songs. I think this guy clearly needs help. I mean,
Right.
if you're hearing something you don't like, reaching for someone's throat to try to make them stop is never really the answer. So I'm glad that he's arrested. I only wish that he could have gotten help before it got this far.
Okay, there's a lot of jokes in the comments. But a guy didn't die, so I guess we could accept the jokes. I don't know, because they're more. It seems like more people are upset with the fact that the guy was singing Christmas song in March than the choking.
Right.
But I think that I'm hoping they're not serious. I'm hoping these are mostly jokes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read the jokes because I don't know. They're kind of. I don't know. They're kind of funny. The guy didn't die, so I guess the jokes are. I mean, did he have any I don't know. Did he have? I don't know what's funny anymore. There's dark humor too soon. If this happened like 3 days ago, the guy didn't die. I don't know if I should feel guilty for laughing at these jokes.
Right. No. It's
Okay.
strange for sure.
All right, I'm not gonna read them. Because I'm not sure. I choke people even in December when they sing song badly. Okay. I'll just read them. You guys decide if it's okay to make jokes about this or not. So the first one, it says he did it for all of us. Michael is saying not the hero we wanted, but the hero we needed. Andrew is saying, look, I'm not saying he was right, but I get it. So a lot of guys are sympathizing with the person that choked the guy singing Christmas song in March. Another one is saying, free this man and give him a medal. Okay, I'm hoping none of you guys are serious and these are just dark humor. Alright, let's go to... I'm sorry, that's funny. Fucking Christmas song, make it stop. Okay. I mean, guys, I'm hoping none of you actually... this is just dark humor and none of you actually endorses violence against anybody just because they're singing a song, no matter how annoying somebody. Again, I know it's weird that we have to say this, but just for the sake of clarity, we don't endorse violence against the most annoying people. The most annoying thing that you can think of if anybody does that, we don't endorse violence. Again, it's stupid that we have to say this, but given how toxic sometimes the community is, apparently we have to make that shit clear.
Right.
Sopan is saying, I'm sure they aren't really serious. Okay, good, Sopan. All right, next news.
Next news is mother fatally stabbed her 11-year-old daughter in order to send her to heaven.
Oh, fucking hell.
Rosa Rivera admitted to stabbing her 11-year-old daughter, Alidia, because she had a suspicion her daughter was having sex. The mother said in an affidavit it was a way to make sure her daughter would go to heaven. She believed her daughter was having sex with men because she smiled different, and by killing her, she prevented her from having sexual relationships with men. Okay, so first of all, I call bullshit on this. When I first read the story, it mentioned nothing about her wanting to send her daughter to heaven. It just seems that she was angry that her daughter was having sex. I do think that this woman is delusioned, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if people think that because they have seen mothers in America get off on religious delusions and insanity. Like if we look at Andrea Yates, who killed 5 of her children to send them to heaven, and she skipped jail and got to go to a mental facility. Like I do understand that that is a common defense, but I think this woman is just terrible.
Well, I mean, that's
you
think you think, but I mean, okay, but I mean, I'm trying to phrase this in a way that doesn't make it sound, because a lot of people are right now. I have a lot of people listening to every word I say it so that they could take that clip to make, you know, and go after me. But
right.
If Christianity is true, again, if Christianity is true, and this is why it makes religion dangerous, doesn't it make what she's doing logical sense? Again, I'm not saying what she's doing is right. It will only be right. I mean, let me make this clear.
Well, I know exactly what you're saying, and I would even take it a step further, Armin.
Okay, let me make it clear though what I'm saying, because in Christianity, okay, if you die as an 11-year-old, don't you go to heaven? What's the doctrine? What's the most?
It depends. So if you're a Christian, you go to heaven. If you're a Catholic, you used to go to limbo, but then the Pope got rid of limbo. So I think that you just go to heaven anyways.
Okay, so you go to heaven. So her daughter, but if she had let her just grew old, then if she was being promiscuous, then she would have gone to hell, no?
Everyone is still judged on their sins, even children in Christianity.
But really, the children are judged on their sins in Christianity?
The sins of the father are passed down to the sins of the child for generations upon generations upon generations. There are a few texts in the Bible that point to that. But yeah, like children are not born without sin in Christianity.
Yeah, okay. So in Islam, you're not born with sin. So I'm just thinking, if this mother was thinking the way I was thinking when I tried to I jumped out of the, again, I don't know if people know this, but I tried to commit suicide when I was a kid to avoid going to hell, because if I died as a child, I mean, again, this is stupid, but it made sense if you give it the premises. If you die as a child, you go to heaven. If you grow old, then you might sin and go to hell. So I concluded the easiest way to go to heaven is to just die as a child. So I tried to commit suicide. So I was just trying to see if this mom was making the same kind of calculation here. But you were going to say something. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if every parent thinks that it's okay to kill their children so that their children have less sin whenever they go up to heaven, I mean, technically, I think everyone, and they also believe that if you repent from your sins and you die, you get to go to heaven. I don't understand why everyone isn't jumping at the bat to go to heaven. Like something bad happens in your life, why would you even want to stay here anymore? You can just go to heaven. You can say you're sorry, kill yourself, and go to heaven. People don't want to do that. And why? Because heaven is such a better place than earth, right? So why isn't?
Well, I mean, it's too late if you do it as an adult. I mean, because suicide is a sin, right? But my understanding was that nothing is a sin if you do it as a child. But I guess Christianity is
and she already assumed her daughter was having sex with men. So why is killing her now going to save her?
Oh yeah, their daughter was 11, and she was assuming that she was having sex with men because the way that she was looking,
Smiling. It's the way
smiling.
she smiled different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we could blame this on Christianity. I
We
think,
can't.
yeah, this is like a
This is
mental.
a psycho woman. Maybe she suffers delusions. I don't know. But religious delusions, I don't believe she does suffer from that. I think she's trying to cover her ass right now to save herself.
I mean, if she is psycho, if she's not, then is she even a bad person? Can you say that she's a bad person if she's mentally ill? I don't know.
Yes,
You can?
because you can absolutely be mentally ill. I mean, there are very small cases, like I just mentioned the story about Andrea Yates. She's a woman from Texas in America, guys. If you don't know the case about it, it's really sad. She was forced to have children by her husband, even after her doctor said it was unsafe for them to continue having children. She suffered with after pregnancy. Sometimes you can become like delusional. The name of it's slipping my mind right now. Anyway, she suffered from it. She had another child, a fifth child, after the doctors had warned she is not mentally capable to keep having children. Her husband had them living in a bus for a short amount of time. I mean, it's insane. The woman legit snapped. She legitimately started hearing voices. She legitimately thought that she needed to kill her children to send them to heaven now. She thought there was a war coming. I mean, all these crazy things. That woman, I truly do believe, was delusional. I don't think she should have been held accountable for what happened to her. This lady, though, sees her 11-year-old daughter smiling differently at men, and that makes her lose her shit. She didn't hear any voices. She didn't have a history of extreme mental illness. She didn't have doctors telling her, hey, we need to watch out. We didn't have any of that in this case. She just up and decides to stab her 11-year-old daughter to death. Clearly, there's something wrong with this woman, but you can have a mental illness and still know the difference between right and wrong. And I believe she did.
Where was this?
This was in Orlando, United States. It's Orlando, Florida, in the United States.
Yeah, my God, these people are impossible. Okay, so Nestor is saying these people are impossible to feel sympathy for. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, but we agree that we can't blame this on Christianity because I don't think there's anything in Christianity that supports this.
I think she used Christianity to try to save her ass. That's what I think.
Okay. Soraya is saying maybe that woman was jealous that she didn't get to have satisfied sex. I don't know, Soraya. I don't know. I mean, we're not. I mean, everything we said, we're not experts at mental illness stuff. I mean, you are a little bit, Ellie, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, so you are. So other than Ellie, I think I'm not gonna. I mean, we could just guess, but we have to acknowledge that these are just guesses. All right. So let's go to the next news, right?
Next news: Westboro Baptist Church protest drowned out by Metalheads with Kazoos. And wait, let me get the location for this because this is in Virginia. Virginia is a state in America. So the Westboro Baptist Church was trying to protest an openly transgender lawmaker in Virginia, but were drowned out by hundreds of metalheads playing kazoos loudly. The Westboro Baptist Church was driven out by a band called Lamb of God. Westboro's members left after only 30 minutes. Only 6 members in the church attended before 9 a.m. and left about a half hour later.
I mean, we should thank this church, the Westboro Baptist Church, because they're bringing people together. I mean, everybody.
They are.
Everybody could just get this in a time that where we're so divided. They're helping people agree at least on something. But hey, let me play the devil's advocate card here. Isn't this against free speech to drown out their expression of their opinion? Of the Westboro Baptist Church?
The Westboro Baptist, they didn't have to leave. No one forced them to leave.
Yeah, but
they were allowed to stay. They had everything to say on their signs. What? God hates fags?
Hey, okay.
You're going to burn in hell?
Okay, Ellie, I know you're gay, but YouTube doesn't recognize YouTube and Facebook is now going to remove our channel.
That's what their signs say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you think YouTube's AI can tell you were reading a sign?
No.
I don't know how that works, but okay. But if they didn't have sign and they just wanted to talk to people and they were drowned out, would that be anti-free speech? I mean, this is a public area; they should be able to express themselves. But you're right. I mean, what they wanted to say was written on the sign, so it's not like the loud music was stopping them from showing people
Right.
their signs, right?
It wasn't stopping them. They could also very well have set their signs and, moved over to an area where the Kazoos weren't driving them insane, and they could have stayed there and let people come to them and hear their message. So in this case, I don't believe that that they did anything wrong. I mean, everyone was there for the Virginia lawmaker.
Right.
So this wasn't the Westboro Baptist Church's platform.
But if it's public area, they should be able to come there.
And they were.
Right.
And no one stopped them from coming. So in that aspect, I don't believe this was a violation of free speech.
Another reason why I love the Westboro Baptist Church is that they show the world how free the United States is, right? Because, in a lot of many countries where, free speech is attacked, or like in Middle Eastern countries where you can't say anything that the government doesn't like, when they see in the United States a group of people that almost everybody hates, and there is no law that could stop them from coming out and say the things they want, it's just basically, I mean, I know the Westboro Baptist Church hates the United States government, but they're really good for United States PR, because they're showing the world how free this country is, that even though the whole country doesn't like what they have to say, they still are able to come and say what they want to say. So even though the church is against the United States government and the laws of the country, they are actually helping to show the world how dedicated to free speech this country is. So I guess in that's one way it's backfiring.
Right.
All right, let me see who else. Did you want to? Let me see actually what the top comment is. Yeah, Joe is saying the metal community has your back. Lamb of God, a great band. Okay, this one is a great comment, but it's long, so I'm not going to read it. Ronald is saying, led by Rand. I don't know. Lamb of God. Okay. I don't know. A lot of metalhead people showed up in the comment section for this one. Did you want to add anything?
I just, a lot of people were saying that it was very ironic that a band called Lamb of God would have been the reason why they left.
William is on Facebook is saying, sorry, but most conservative Christians agree with Westboro. I keep saying the name wrong. Westboro, not Westboro. That's not true. Most conservative Christians don't agree with them. Am I wrong in this? I don't think they do.
I think that there's an awesome vocal amount of Christians that have accepted all people, transgender, everyone in the LGBT spectrum. And they're pretty vocal and awesome about it. But I also think that there's a huge chunk of people that have learned to just shut up. And so
but even among those the Christians that are anti-LGBT and all that, anti-abortion and everything, they still don't like Westboro. I'm just gonna say WBC. Yeah, they still don't. I mean, even if they agree with them on some of their arguments, I don't think this is the church that they want to support. I might be wrong, but so let us know in the comments if I'm wrong. Okay, so William is saying, I live in Alabama. I see it every day. All right, so if I'm wrong about this, please let us know in the comment if there's any statistics other than just personal anecdotal experience. Should we go to the next one?
Yeah, I do see some people, though, pointing out in our comment section some other news that's going on. If you guys see other news that you ever want us to talk about, please leave it in our comment section on YouTube.
Yeah, not on the live stream. Once the live stream is over, go to the comment section of these videos and leave a comment. And Ali, you check the comment section on our videos?
Yeah, I'll check.
Okay. And yeah, that will, if you leave it on Facebook or Twitter, because our Facebook and Twitter accounts are so big, we're gonna miss it. We're not gonna notice it. But our YouTube is kind of smaller compared to our other platforms, so that's a really good place for you to suggest news for us to cover next week. All right, should we go to the next news?
Yeah, next news happened in Iran. Shocking 33-year prison term and 148 lashes for women's rights defender Nasrin Sotoudeh. Sorry if I butchered that. Nasrin is a prominent Iranian humanist rights lawyer and women's rights defender, was sentenced to 33 years in prison and 148 lashes in a new case against her. It is the harshest sentence Amnesty International has documented against a human rights defender in Iran in recent years. She was arrested in her home on June 13th, 2018. This week, she was informed that she had been convicted on 7 charges.
For what?
So they're actually trying to get her on a whole bunch of different things. Well, obviously 7 different charges. I'm not exactly sure. Let me see if
148 lashes. She's a lawyer, right?
Yes, she's a lawyer and a human rights activist, women's activist.
Imagine being like such a professional, and you like studied and you're dedicating your life to human rights, and now you're gonna get 148 lashes.
And it's all bullshit. These charges against her: gathering and colluding to commit crimes against national security, 5 years for that, and 2 years for insulting the supreme leader.
You should be rewarded for insulting the supreme leader.
Yeah.
Fuck the supreme. God damn it. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I'm tired of even commenting on this. I don't know what to say. I mean, we should. Okay, here's what we do. We should make a. We should make cartoons and stuff about the supreme leader of Iran. These things need to backfire. Like, if they're so insulted about this, they need to, how we have a Drug Muhammad annual event? We should do something in response to this. We should have, insult the Iran supreme leader, I don't know, something. I don't know what to do.
I think that'd be a perfect thing to do. Instead of a Draw Muhammad Day, let's do an Insult the Supreme Leader Day.
Yeah, I mean, if she's taking lashes because come after her. Like, you think you can stop these things? It has to backfire. If you want to lash somebody and give them prison sentences because they insulted the supreme leader, the religious supreme leader of Iran, you think it's going to stop people from insulting you? It has to become 10 times more, so that you don't think you could do this to people. Like, whatever you wanted to stop, now it's going to be more. I mean, what do they think they're going to get out of this? This is going to be an international embarrassment for them. Why are they doing this? I mean, even if they're religious, I mean, it doesn't make strategic sense. Like, why are they... Iran is already getting so much international pressure. Why are they doing this? I mean, they're not that... I mean, they're religious, but at least politically, you would think they're strategic. They've survived for 40 years now. They didn't survive for 40 years for just being randomly, they're not just, they're not idiots. There must be, I mean, this is evil, but it can't be just chaotic evil. There must be some strategy behind this kind of evil. And we have to figure out what it is if we want to stop it. Subhan is saying, Armin, you're from Iran, right? How was your experience? Subhan, we're gonna keep the questions on the topic that we're discussing. Let me see what your question is. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about my experience in Iran because that's not relevant to the news. But yeah, anyways, this is sad.
Someone's asking if she's the lawyer who defended women who removed their veil. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's why she's getting all this. Because that brought a lot of international embarrassment to Iran. But this should... So, they want to stop the embarrassment, and they're doing something that's going to embarrass them even more. Fucking hell. This should get... Do you know when her lashing date starts? We should try to get that stopped.
No, she's been in jail for almost a year just waiting to hear...
Their sentence?
for her sentence.
And she just got her sentence. Fucking hell, 33 years. How old is she? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I really feel, I know this is, because Iran is already under sanctions and because everybody is against Iran, there's not much you could play with now to get her free. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
What are you going to threaten Iran with now? They're under so much sanction, and every single, every single move that you could have made against them has been already being played. So what are you left to pressure Iran with to make something like this stop? And maybe that's their point. Maybe they're trying to send a message now that you cornered us and you cornered us like this. Then we're not, human rights be damned. Let me see what the top comment is. Rob is saying religion proving again how backward and fucked up it can make the world. Okay. Maggie is saying Iran used to be progressive until we butted in. Oh, fuck off. This is on America, every atrocity. No, Maggie, fuck you. Fuck you for trying to, like, this is the same people that think America is responsible for all the good in the world are as self-obsessed and as Western focused as the people that want to blame every fucking thing in the world on America. Yeah, America is responsible for so much shit, and so is every other country. Iran is capable of being responsible for its own. Whenever you're so obsessed with your own country and to blame everything, you're so absorbed with everything in your own area that you can't even, you have people that are giving somebody 148 lashes because they are human rights advocates, and this is in Iran, and you still have to turn the story around and make it somehow about America. How self-obsessed have to be that you have to turn the story somehow, make it relevant to yourself again? Come on. I'm sure brown people are capable of committing atrocities. Not everything, this is again taking agency away. These people want to, by trying to be not racist, they're being racist by taking agency away from other people. You think they're not capable of committing atrocities? You think only Americans are capable of? Fuck you, Maggie. Fuck you. Oh my god, sorry. I'm tired of this. Alex is saying religion of peace strikes again. Yeah, this is, how do you not see that this is also religion? At least say, America had a part to play, is to be blamed, right? Don't say this is on America. Don't take the whole credit for every fucking nightmarish thing that happens in the world. Don't give it to America. Believe it or not, Iran does commit human rights violation, and they're responsible. They themselves are responsible for a lot of it. I'm so tired of hearing. Your entire worldview has been defined over America bad, that people can't see anything else, any source of evil coming out from anywhere else. Mo is saying prison term is bad enough. Why the lashes? Fucked up barbarians. Yes, these are barbarians, okay? No matter how much United States, how much crimes United States have committed around the world, they're still not as barbaric as people that give lashes to people for standing up for human rights. You have to understand that blame United States for whatever you want, but there is evil and there is greater evil, and Iran is definitely the greater evil here. Mark is saying Iran's government, not Iranian people. I mean, some Iranian people, but not all. Mark is saying it's 2019 in the rest of the world. It's 219 in Iran. Let me see. Anybody? Muska is saying don't piss off Armin. No, piss me off. I need it sometimes. Muska, the countries of the world should pressure Iran to see lashes as a form of physical abuse. Yes, that's good. Yes, Muska, I agree with you on that. Sopan is saying he asked for my experience to see if this was common there. I mean, define common. I mean, it's not common. That's why it makes it to the news. But it still happens, even if it's not common. I mean, again, it depends on your definition of common. All right. Do you want to... Let me see if there's anybody... all right. Do you want to add anything, Ellie?
No.
Okay. Sorry I took so long on this one.
That's okay.
All right. Let's go to the
Next
next one.
news.
Yeah.
I just want to let people know this is not the same story that we reported about the guy from Indonesia. This is a new story about something that happened in Malaysia. Man gets 10 years in jail and a fine for insulting Islam on Facebook.
Fucking hell. Annie, do you want to read the summary of it?
Yeah, let's see. Alistair Kojia, a 22-year-old man whose Facebook account was named Aya, pleaded guilty before a Sessions Court judge, Jason Juga, to 5 charges under Section 298A 1-A of the Penal Code and 5 charges under Section 233 of the Multimedia and Communications Act of 1998. He has pleaded guilty to uploading on social media offensive materials about Islam and Prophet Muhammad. He was sentenced to a total of 10 years in prison and a fine of roughly $12,000 USD for all 10 charges.
10 fucking years for harming not a single person. Yeah. This is Malaysia, but this is the country people use as an example to show you how moderate a Muslim country can be. Okay, again, if this is this is the best you could expect from an Islamic country. Malaysia is supposed to be the best, the most moderate, the most tolerant one, and you get 10 years in jail, right? So so Islamic government's version of tolerant is that we're not gonna behead you. Islam, we're just going to give you a 10-year jail sentence. That's the version of tolerance.
How is this guy going to pay this fee, too? I mean, 10 years and $12,000 USD.
This is fucking stupid. We should, okay, so we should now go insult Islam fucking hell, like, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, are they not insulting Islam themselves by putting somebody in prison for 10 years in the name of Islam? They should put themselves in jail because they're now insulting Islam. This guy's post, how many people saw his post? Not that many, probably. But now we're all seeing this story. Isn't this more embarrassing to Islam than whatever this guy posts? These people should put themselves in jail because they have embarrassed Islam way more than whatever this guy could.
Right. And it's frustrating so much. We constantly, especially on our page, we get messages, people asking us, why do you call yourself an atheist? Why do you need a title? Why do you need to talk about atheism so much? Why do you need to talk about other gods? And this is why. We're trying to do the work because we're not going to get punished for it in the West, and we're trying to normalize this stuff.
Exactly.
If we can bring some sort of normality to this, maybe people from Malaysia won't go to jail for 10 years and have their lives ruined over saying something negative about Islam.
Michael is saying, because of his mean comments, Allah has been crying in his bedroom for days and listening to mixtapes. Justin, again, yeah, I don't understand. They think Islam is so weak that they need to defend it from this kid. How old is this guy? He looks so young. His entire life has been ruined.
He's 22 years old.
22, so he's gonna get out when he's 32 for Facebook posts. For a Facebook post, Jesus. Justin is saying, how can you get arrested for insulting something imaginary? Ariel is saying, imagine being thrown in jail for insulting the story of Humpty Dumpty. That's pretty much what's going on in this case. Chi is saying, I fucking hate religion. Jean is saying, it's all for the prophet. Okay. Singai is saying, such a fragile religious ideology. Well, yeah, we need to go out and insult Islam because of this. Again, say fuck Islam, fuck Muhammad, fuck the Quran. We should have a burn a Quran day in his name just so that people So it backfires. I mean, what are they gonna do? You think you're gonna reduce people insulting Islam because of this? You're gonna be more. I mean, I don't understand what the thinking process there is, because these people can't be idiots. I mean, they got their job for some reason. Like, are they trying to reduce insults in Islam? Because we're all gonna be cursing Islam because of what you guys did. How is this gonna help? I mean, even on your stupid, fucked up agenda and trying to reduce insults on Islam, how is this gonna help? Like, are you so internationally more people are going to insult Islam? Is it does that matter to you, or you just care about not people not insulting Islam in Malaysia? Like, is your God only cares about people who insult Islam in Malaysia? Because if he cares about people insulting Islam anywhere, we're in Canada, you're in the U.S.A. Where are you gonna what are you gonna do about that? Because of your fucked up decision, we're going to be doubling down on our insult on Islam. How does that help? Like, Ali, help me out here. What are they thinking? Like, what is their goal? I don't understand it.
Well, it's the same thing. I think just they're trying to control everything within their country, and I don't think that they understand the influence that everyone else has, much like Pakistan right now, who has taken away people's access to our Facebook page. They're starting to remove anything that they don't like. Even Indian Facebook pages they're trying to restrict everyone in Pakistan. Like, VPNs don't exist, but they're trying, and I think this is the same thing. Is they're trying really hard to control the people in their country. If you do this, we don't care what anyone else says. If you do this, you're going to pay for it. And I just don't think they understand the power that everyone else has, and just how fucked up this is.
They can't be that stupid. I mean, they're religious, but they must know that what they're like. Do they not really know that what they're doing is going to result in more people insulting Islam? Like, do they really not know that? Like, how stupid could they be? Like, they had to pass a test or something to get the jobs that they I don't know. Okay,
maybe they say it's fine if you want to make fun of Islam, over there in the West, in America and Canada, make fun of it, but here you're not going to.
Okay, but that makes Allah like a geographical, like, isn't Allah supposed to be universal thing? I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Sopan is saying, I got a Quran for free, got to finish reading it and then burn it for the heck of it. Yeah, we need to embarrass Malaysia, but just from today we have so many stories. We don't know who to start embarrassing first, who to put pressure on, right? Like, there's just too many. All right, should we go to the next news?
The next news is going to be interesting. I hope Soraya is still in our chat. It's about India and the violent toll of Hindu nationalism in India. And a prime minister has legitimized India's more militant groups, and targeted attacks against religious minorities are on the rise. Last July, the pattern of killings of Muslims grew so dire. In 2018, there were 13 fatal cow-related lynchings, and the Indian Supreme Court demanded that the legislator reformulate laws against the practice, which is yet to be done.
Wait.
Last month,
go on.
Last month, Human Rights Watch released a 104-page report documenting the violence and the inaction and the abuses of the government officials charged with investigating the crimes. Killers are lauded in some quarters as heroes in defending the faith and eradicating Muslims.
The government in India is really using the division between Hindus and Muslims as a way to get re-elected, isn't it? Like, it's so obvious. It's so
Right.
obvious that they're doing it. Like, I mean, why do they need to update? So in India, like, a lot of people get killed for slaughtering cows by Hindu nationalists, right? I mean, they need to update the laws. Like, don't they already have laws against killing people, or like, what kind of update would you need for that? I don't understand.
Well, that's the thing is that the Indian Supreme Court did demand that they formulate laws against the practice of lynching people for, harming cows, and nothing has been done about it. And they're saying that this goes even deeper. The Human Rights Watch is accusing them of having this going even deeper, saying that, the government officials and the people who investigate crimes are letting this stuff go. They're saying, this is great. We're happy you did it. We're not going to even give you a slap on the wrist. Move on. Nothing more to see here. So seems to be this is a big problem.
And again, a lot of people say, "Oh, Hinduism is a philosophy; it's a way of life. It's not a religion. It's better." Yeah, fucking hell. Hinduism is a barbaric ancient ideology that needs to die, just like the rest of the religious ideologies. And anybody that says it's just a way of life, not religion, religion is a way of life. What are you talking about? Soraya is there, by the way. So
Yeah.
Swabhan is saying that he's sending me many links related to Hindutva terror. Swabhan, my Facebook inbox is I have lost complete control over it. Okay, if you want to suggest stories, comment section on our YouTube channel. Comment section on our YouTube channel. Soraya is saying, yes, we still are agitating against these violence, but government is saving murderers. Yes, the government is definitely taking sides, trying to protect Hindu extremists. You guys, India is a secular country that is secularism is being challenged. You guys, the secular activists and atheist activists in India, you guys need to unite and you guys need to do something to save your country against Hindu extremism. Or Hinduism in general. Muskia is saying, didn't India recently have elections? I thought the elections are coming up.
Yeah, I thought they were too.
Yeah, correct us if we're wrong. I think we're gonna have elections pretty soon, but they're not there yet. Subhan was saying the government is corrupt, like totally. Only the Supreme Court seems to retain its sense. Yeah, your court system is pretty good still. Like they're pushing back against all of this. Don't lose your court. Your courts are pretty good. Soraya saying Hinduism is a threat to the Constitution of India. Yeah, your constitution is also pretty secular. So you guys are a secular country, and you're the world's largest democracy. Please don't get taken over by Hinduism. Please, please, please do something about it. Your country is going in the wrong direction. So is many other countries. Israel is getting more religious. Malaysia is getting more religious. India is getting more religious. Indonesia is getting more religious. And this is why a lot of people in the United States think everything is getting better, getting secular. But a lot of countries are going the other way around. In the short term, at least. In the long term, everything is getting better. But we need to push back against, we got atheists in countries that things are looking better. They need to now unite within countries that things are getting worse. We need to cooperate with each other and bring attention to these countries where things are getting worse, where secularism is being challenged. Can somebody correct us if we're wrong about the elections? Elections haven't happened yet. I thought they're happening soon. Soraya is suggesting to us to please search "United Against Hate" on Twitter, and you'll get all info you need. No, guys, tell us comment section. Give us the most important ones in the comment section of YouTube. It also helps our channel when we have more comments. Sopan is saying the Constitution is good. Only if the government followed the Constitution. All right. Okay. So nobody's telling us about the elections, and if you tell us now, it's going to be too late because we're going to move soon. Oh, wait. Let me see the top comments. Top comment is that article is misleading. And he got this happened to... Okay, every time we post an article like this, there's gonna be a lot of Indian people
saying that it's misleading.
And then a lot of people from India then commenting that it's not misleading. Like there's a lot of infighting between India, secularists in India and religious people in India, and atheists in India that still have some they still think Hinduism is not, they still have some respect for Hinduism even though they're atheists. Soraya is saying elections are in April and May. Yeah, see, I was right. Sopan is saying Article 51A(h) to develop the scientific, temper humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform, totally against religion. Wow, you have that in your constitution? That's amazing. Sopan is saying, yeah, elections are coming up next month. Good. Suraya is saying, new parliament will start on June 4th as estimated. Guys, is there, let us know if there's any secular or atheist groups in India that deserves more attention, that they're active. We don't want to just cover the news. If you have atheist groups, activist groups in India that is pushing back against all this bullshit, We want to highlight their activism and bring attention to them. And so internationally, there's more attention to the work that they're doing. Because the Hindu religious extremists, they are very united, they're very organized. In all these countries where secularism is under threat, the people that are threatening secularism, they have plans, they have funding, they have resources, they are united, and they know exactly what they're doing. But the pushback against them, the activists, we're small. We don't have resources. We don't have support, and we're not working with each other. We need to work with each other, and grow, because we're gonna any country that is secular, it didn't just become secular overnight. A lot of people really worked hard to get it to where it is, and we're just letting it take it away from us. We can't let them just take these away from us. Should I go to next news?
Sure.
Wait, let me load. Okay, go on.
An aborted 6-week-old embryo got a green light to sue an Alabama abortion clinic. This is in Alabama,
Wait, what?
U.S.A.
That makes no sense.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't make sense, but it was accurate. A judge in Alabama is allowing an Alabama man and an embryo to sue the people that made it possible for a girl he impregnated to get an abortion. It is the first time an embryo has ever been treated as a human being with legal rights in the court of law. Ryan Majors says he wanted the 16-year-old high schooler he impregnated to have baby Roe, but she decided against it. Majors and the embryo are now suing the Women's Center for Reproductive Alternatives in Huntsville, Alabama, as well as an unknown pharmaceutical company that made the abortion pill taken by the girl. Madison County probate judge Frank Barger gave it the green light to move forward, with Majors representing the embryo's estate.
Holy fucking shit. What the hell? Okay, but at least nothing has happened. Green light doesn't mean he's gonna win, because this thing needs to die.
But green light does mean that it's moved further than it should have.
Yes. I mean, they're giving rights to embryos can sue people now? Can my salad sue me now?
Why not?
I mean, what the fuck? Embryo... Oh, what the fuck?
You know what, Armin, I am going to sue you on behalf of your salad and your salad's estate. So, this is as ridiculous.
This is a bunch of cells. They're treating it like a human being.
6 weeks. It was a 6-week-old embryo.
It's not self-aware.
Not at all. I mean, not even close. It's not even. It's like you said. It's a clump of cells. I mean, it's nothing at this point. Are you kidding me? And to force a 16-year-old high schooler to give birth? Are you kidding me? This better not stand a chance. What? How are you going to force a child to give birth?
Wait, how old is she?
16.
Oh. This guy should lose and be made to pay all the legal fees for the girl. She should sue back for wasting her time and energy. She should put up a GoFundMe account or something so people could donate so that she could hire a legit lawyer against this idiot.
They don't make it clear, because they say that, the judge is making it impossible for him to sue the people responsible for allowing her to get the abortion. And then they specifically mention the Women's Center and the pharmaceutical company, but they don't specifically mention the girl, if he's going to be actually suing her directly, only the people who made it possible for her to have the abortion.
Oh, good. They put the pharmaceutical, it's not just a girl, so the pharmaceutical company should be able to hire some legit lawyers to go after.
And they better. Yeah. And they will, because they can afford it.
Yeah. Okay, this guy's an idiot. What the fuck? But this guy looks like an idiot. He's like a kid. I mean, I can see why he would be such an idiot. But the judge that gave it the green light, that guy should lose his license. Is is there any consequences for judges being absolute idiots? Like, or is it no, like nothing? I don't know. I mean, is this something that the Freedom from Religion Foundation can get involved in? Because I don't think you have in the legal system. This is the United States, right? Of course, it's so stupid. It must be United States, but no, but I was just But
it's funny. No, it's just funny that you made that joke because in the United States, people would be like, "Oh, this is Alabama. Of course, it's Alabama."
Right.
So.
No, I didn't mean that. But no, what was I going to say?
Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Yeah, no, because within the legal system of the United States, you can't. I mean, embryos don't have rights. Embryos can't sue. Okay, so obviously this is a religious thing. It's a religious thing.
Has
right?
to be.
It can't be anything else because this is the first time in history where embryos apparently can sue people, right? So given that this is religious, I think the Freedom from Religion Foundation needs to get involved.
Well, and I think that too, he should have to prove that he was the father of this embryo.
Does that even matter?
It does, because if not, okay, if he is not the father of this embryo, then what? I can go and sue some woman for having an abortion on behalf of the embryo?
I mean, the fact that the embryos are suing people is already like we're in batshit crazy land.
It's already scary.
Oh.
I'm just saying, you know, let's try to limit this and how far this can go, Alabama. Let's try to throw some logic into it. I don't know. Terrible.
Okay, this comment is too long. I'm not going to read it. It says men don't have a say. I'm not going to read that because that's going to make Allie very angry.
Yeah, well.
Jackson is saying this is the part of the abortion argument that makes me furious. The situation is simple. Are we really getting into abortion arguments? This is way beyond crazy, even by abortion argument standards. Okay, like we're talking embryo suing people. I don't think we need to discuss whether abortion is right. Like we have passed that point to discuss whether abortion is okay. I mean, abortions are fine. You should be able to have one every day if you want to. But this is a new territory of crazy, I think. Savannah saying it is also his child though. No, it's not his child. It's his bunch of cells. It's not a child. It's an embryo. It's as self-aware as my salad. Okay? It's nothing more than just a bunch of cells. But I'm going to read your entire comment. Savannah is saying it is his child though. He had every right to be a father to his own kid. The mom could have had the baby and never looked back if she truly didn't want to be a mom. Dads aren't second-class citizens. Dads have rights too. Dads don't have rights. Okay, I'm actually very sympathetic sometimes to when, you know, I mean, Allie is you're a men's rights activist, aren't you, Allie?
Yeah.
Okay. But this is bullshit. Come on, this is bullshit. Men don't have right to other people's bodies. You can't, you know, what did you contribute? You contributed the sperm, right? That's not much of an investment. Like, you just came, okay? You can't, just because you came, all of a sudden you have the right to to enslave, to have 9 months of someone's body for you to be able to grow your child in. Just because you came, I think that's stupid for people to say, oh, the dad has the right to child. I think that's nonsense.
I think that it would be great if every woman would give a man the consideration of what he wants.
No, I disagree.
Well, but I think that for a 16-year-old child, that's when all bets are off.
I think even if this guy was a 35-year-old and he came and said, hey, listen, this is my kid. I really wish if you want to keep it. I think, as the mom, again, I'm not being sexist here. I think as a mom has the right to say, no, I don't want to keep it. You have no say. The reason why you have no say is because you don't. I mean, if you could transfer it into your own body and you be pregnant and you could carry it, then you would have a say. Right, but you don't get to say what I grow in my body. I don't think so. I don't think you should have that say.
Right.
I mean, what
But
did?
I
Yeah.
just think that if somebody did want to give that consideration, I just think that would be
Of
something that could be worked out. What if a man wants to pay for everything and a woman is in agreement for it? I think that that's great. I just think that women should go to men to hear their side of the story. I'm not saying that they need to absolutely do what he says. I'm not saying that they need to do it against their
of
will. I'm just saying, listen.
I don't think they have to listen. Okay, obviously, if they want to listen, if they want to consider, I'm not saying they shouldn't consider. Obviously, if they want to consider it, they can consider it. I'm not arguing against that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying if they don't want to consider what the dad has to say, or if they don't want to even listen to what the dad has to say, I think I'm also for that as well.
Yeah, and someone's asking in our chat, how old is he? I don't know how old he is. But that's a good question. It's a really good question. Is this a 16-year-old child suing another child?
Okay, so do we know the woman? Should I say girl or woman? I don't know. That she's
I call her a child because by law she's not old enough.
Okay, so she's a child, right? 16, but we don't know how old this guy is.
Right.
I mean, given that he's not been, this is Alabama, right? What's the age of consent there?
That's another good question. Every state has their own consent laws. Some as young as 14. Some has to be 18. But there are exceptions with people who are the same age. And then there are even more exceptions if the person is like 3 years older than you. So you can be 17 and he can be 20. It gets really weird. All states have different complicated laws. So I don't know for Alabama.
Subhan is agreeing with me on this one. Again, I'm not being sexist against men here because I'm all for equality, but given that the man is not carrying the baby, equality means that you don't have a say because you're not investing anything in the baby. Not the baby. It's not a baby. Okay, it's an embryo. You're not investing.
And then he's saying then again, surrogacy could be considered. I mean, I just think that it would be nice. I think
it would
that
be nice, but not required. It would be nice,
be
but yeah, it would be nice if you want to go talk to him and see like what he was. You could do that. I think that if you don't want to, you shouldn't. You don't have to. And I mean, again, if men could get pregnant, it would be a different story. I'm pretty sure they're able to in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Brad is saying, I hope the mother countersues for the cost of the abortion since this guy was so negligent with his sperm. I don't know about that. Okay. I think she should sue for wasting her time and energy, not for negligent. I mean, both of you should be, I mean, if you're both having sex, you should both are responsible for pregnancy, right? Like that's something that should be equal, right? Because that's something that you could both have the same amount of investment in, unlike pregnancy. Unlike carrying a baby itself. Okay, should we go to the next one?
Yeah, next news. Nigerian.
Wait, before this is something that's gonna. Soraya saying nobody cares about men's emotion as father, but if the mom wants to consider embryo as a child, then it's a child. Sarcasm. Okay, good. All right, next news.
All right, Nigerian Christians under siege. Attacks claim 120 lives since February. 120 Christians have been killed by the Fulani militia in Nigeria since February. More recently, 52 people were killed and over 100 homes were damaged last Monday in Moro, Kajuru. Survivors say that the group divided into 3 groups. One was ordered to kill people, the other to burn down homes, and the third sat in wait, killing anyone who ran away. It said that the main reason for these attacks have been over farm grazing lands.
These are Muslims killing Christians?
So that's a good question. Are they Muslims that are killing Christians?
Yeah, that's the story. But again, if they're Muslims killing Christians, why is it over farm? Like it's
exactly. So I'm not.
So it's tribal, but it's like it's religious tribalism, but it's also economic. Again, so a lot of people have a hard time when people use religion as a way to attack people for greed or for like economical reasons. Then people always have a understanding, they're confused about how to frame it, whether this is religion or not religion. Again, usually what happens is that the goal is something non-religious, but then religion is used as a way to get that goal. Again, religion is most of the time a force for evil when it comes to any kind of conflict like this, but it's mostly a tool rather than the goal itself. But this is not something new in Nigeria. This has been the attacks between Muslims killing Christians. This has been going on in Nigeria for a while. The reason why this is on the news is because the numbers are getting way worse than before. So this is becoming really, really high, even for what's happening? Nigeria, by the way, has huge, like one of those countries that is really messed up for religious reasons, because it has both a high population of Christians and also Muslims, and they don't get along much. But we also have a lot of atheists in Nigeria in our consulates, and we're growing. We should see if we could do some, reach out to them and see if we could help out with, some activism or some education or some bringing people together. I don't know. What do you?
Well, they actually they do a lot of great work over there.
Are Atheist Republic's Nigerian consulate? We should.
I know that 2 people are in the consulate, but they don't necessarily use our consulate for what they're doing. But we have somebody who's in our consulate who has actually started a secular school so that girls can have a chance to learn. And it's kind of out of the way, kind of hidden, kind of protected, and it's really cool. Like, they do a lot of really good work. So yeah, I don't know. But no, I agree with you. It's just if the news is going to be reporting on this, that the main reason for these attacks have been over farm grazing lands, it called into question for me, and I'm unfamiliar with the issue that's going on over there. It's just within this article, it called into question: is this really an issue between farming grazelands, or is this really an issue between 2 religious groups?
It's both. So because I'm reading the article, it says the majority of herdsmen are Muslim and have fought with Christian farmers over grazing land for centuries, right? So you're fighting over farming stuff, but your understanding of who's in your group and who's outside of your group is with religion. So you can see how religion is not the goal of the conflict, but helps with
it plays an important role.
It basically helps with, it makes the conflict more difficult to solve, right? Because you already have defined who's with you and who's against you. Religion is usually something when you already have a conflict without religion. What religion does is when you mix it in the conflict, it just makes the conflict a lot more extreme and a lot more complicated to solve. So even if the religion was not the main motivation of the conflict. Let me see. Scott is saying, say no to Christian phobia or an Islamophobia. I think that's satire he's using. Soren is saying, by the way, this is something that is not getting enough attention. We should get in touch with our Nigerian members a lot more. It's a very important country. Nigeria is one of the largest countries in the world with highest, very high population and a lot of educated people come out of Nigeria. But all the conflict that happens there doesn't get much attention because it's Africa, and Africa people don't really care about it. Whenever shit happens in Africa, people are like, oh, it's Africa, of course, right? So it's not. But I guess we should pay attention more there, especially because this is something that, it's part of the stuff that we cover. This is a lot of the conflicts in Nigeria has religion have something to do with it, and if we could encourage atheist activism in Nigeria, it might be very helpful for future generations. Soren is saying, terror is terror wherever it be, under any circumstances, names, or ideologies. Okay. I don't know why that got a lot of likes, because that's pretty obvious. Chris is saying the world needs education so badly. Fundamentalist extremists are a fucking cancer. Whatever particular brand of bullshit they adhere to. I don't know why. I mean, these comments are they're usually show up at the top, but they seem pretty, obvious to me. Religion is the cause of most killing. I don't know. Okay, here, this is something saying religion is the cause of most killing. I'm an atheist activist, and I'm very much anti-religious, anti-theist atheist activist. And I don't think religion is the cause of most killing. Isn't like famine or isn't malaria? Doesn't malaria kill more people than religion? I don't know. I don't think it's religion. Cancer kills more people than religion.
Right.
Heart disease kills more people than religion. Come on, guys. If you could be against religion, like we are, but you don't have to make it even bigger than it is, right?
It's bad enough on its own.
It's bad enough as it is. You don't have to make it the worst thing in the world, okay? If I had to choose between... Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. No, okay, I was going to say if I... Because religion does take a lot of people that might have been able to solve these problems. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you could say, like, obviously cancer is worse than, religion, right? But what if one of those kids that is memorizing the Quran was the next person that could have cured cancer? You know what I mean? Like, so it's hard to say, right? You can say, oh, malaria kills a lot more people than religion. Yeah, but what if that kid that is now studying to be a priest was the person that would have solve this problem? So you don't know. All right, should we go to the next news?
Yes, so we're going to end this on a good note. I think Italy bans unvaccinated children from school.
Yay, good job.
In Italy, yeah.
Wait, actually, I don't know. I feel bad for the kids that don't get to go to school. So yay, but also
yeah.
Okay, go on.
In Italy, children have been told not to turn up to school unless they can prove they have been properly vaccinated. Parents risk being fined up to €500. No, I'm sorry. It's equivalent to €425 if they send their unvaccinated children to school. Children under 6 can be turned away. I'm sorry. That was kind of a weird sentence. They can be turned away or can't be turned away. I'm not sure if that's a typo, sorry. Italian officials say vaccination rates have improved since it was introduced. They include vaccinations for chickenpox, polio, measles, mumps, and rubella.
Yeah, this is good. This is really good news for most of the kids there, but really bad news for the kids that are not getting vaccinated, because now they're getting hit twice. First, they're not getting vaccinated, but they're also not getting education. I mean, especially with the parents that think vaccines cause autism and stuff, now they're going to be homeschooled by parents that are already stupid. So they're probably not going to get the best education. Ew, what is this picture somebody posted? Alec is saying, good, this should be a global law. I honestly, if I was in control, I would have gone further. I would again, this is an extremist. This is something that most people I think would disagree with me, because this is pretty extreme measures. But I think if you don't vaccinate your children, I would go beyond saying your kids can't come to public school. I think your kids should be, you should be taken away from you. You don't deserve to raise these kids. You don't deserve. I mean, if you find that parents are being extremely abusive, again, I understand maybe not in countries where foster homes are shitty, but maybe first make foster homes better, and then take kids away from parents that don't vaccinate their kids. Because I don't know, but yeah, this is good news. Bambi is saying, fuck anti-vaxxers, every last one of them. Well, no, don't fuck them, because we want less of them. If you fuck them, we're going to have more of them. Yeah, and they're going to have more kids then. And they're not going to get vaccinated. Emma's saying, I traveled to Italy for 4 months and had to show proof of my vaccinations. Oh, wow, really? That's good. I'm not surprised this is happening. I'll always love you, Italy. Yeah, good. One thing Italy is doing really good. Good job. I hope more countries follow. TJ is saying, if vaccines work, then why does it matter? Surely the vaccinated kids have nothing to worry about. Oh my God, TJ, you really don't understand herd immunity and all that stuff. Okay, and also a lot of the kids can't get vaccinated. You know, actually not a lot of them. It's minor. It's a small part. There are kids that have legitimate reasons for not being able to get vaccinated, and they rely on all the other kids that do get vaccinated for protection. So the kids that don't get vaccinated, even though they could, are putting these kids that can get vaccinated for good reasons in danger. So TJ, come on. You have access. You're on Facebook. You have access to internet. Come on. Don't be so stupid. You could do some better research. Daniel saying this. I see that TJ got the most number of responses, so I'm pretty sure he was schooled here somehow. Oh yeah, exactly. People mentioned herd immunity. I mean, how could people like not know this? How much do you have to try not to be informed? Okay, so many people responded to TJ, so that's good. By the way, one thing I want to let you guys know, if you're watching these the uncut version of our news, we have a link to all the posts. If you look in our description, and if you want to go respond to some of the comments that we're reading, there's a link to all these Facebook posts in the description of this video, of the YouTube video, and also actually just the YouTube video. So if you want to go respond to some of the comments that made you angry, just follow the link. All right, let me see if there was anything on YouTube to read. B just saying doesn't completely fix the problem either, as the kids can be in groups just about anywhere, but better than nothing. Okay, so B just saying, you know, unvaccinated kids, if they don't go to school, it's still a problem because they could still be in touch with, you know, other kids, but this is good, still a good thing. They can get their studies at home from the school. Oh, okay, I hope so, because these parents can't be relied. Parents that are anti-vaxxers are not going to be good educators. Soraya is saying, first non-vaccinated kids were unsafe against the diseases. Now they will be unsafe and uneducated. I hope Italy has a plan. Like if they can't go to school, I hope that there's some books and tests that they have to pass. You know, the government forces the parents to teach them, at least, even if they're at home. But Ellie, did you want to add anything to this?
You know, the anti-vax thing is so tiring. And yeah, I think there's a lot that's unknown right now. Hopefully they can do something like we do here. Public schools, you have to have your vaccines. Most private schools as well. There are some private schools who are a lot more lenient on it. And I'm hoping that Italy has something kind of like that, so these kids definitely get an education.
Yeah, and you know, Italy doing this is, I think, a lot of
it's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction, but it's not just, I mean, when a country does something like this, it becomes something for other countries to study and, you know, see as a, you know, I see a lot of like Congress people or like senators or from different countries, when they're discussing policies, they always refer to other countries that tried something similar, right? So when Italy does something like this, it's not just going to be impacting Italy. It's going to, you know, a lot of other countries are going to take, a lot of other politicians from other countries are going to take note. And if somebody wants to propose something like this in their own country, they will use this as a case study or as an example to bring up. So it's really good that a country like Italy does this. Anyway, so that's about it. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
No. Thank you so much, Ellie, for being here. Sorry we didn't do it this Saturday. I was in Israel. And there's a lot. I recorded a shitload of stuff in Israel, which I talked to Jewish, religious Jews, ex-Jewish atheists, Palestinian Muslims, Palestinian atheists. By the way, did you know there's a lot of atheists in Palestine? there's a huge community of secret
That's
atheists,
awesome.
secret
That is
atheists in
so
Palestine.
awesome.
Yeah, I crossed the border from Israel. I went to Palestine. I talked to them. It was amazing. I couldn't record their faces, but it was really great to be able to talk to them. But I had some amazing discussions there with people with the atheist community there, and also the religious people there. And I can't wait to record them. And I went with Drew McKay from Genetically Modified Skeptic. He's gonna go check out his channel. He's gonna be releasing his own videos from this trip. I mean, we recorded so much. I can't wait to go back to Israel. It was amazing, and yeah, can't wait to share those with you. So if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, hop over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channels, because that's where I'm going to release all those discussions. Anyways, so love you all. Beej, thank you for adminning the live chat. Soraya, Steven, Mars, Muscal, who am I missing? MBK, Vitor. Some of these I don't know how to pronounce. Old Scratch, I think I already read. Sopan, I read. William Benson, Eric Williams, John D. Paul on Facebook. Love you all. John, yeah. Who else? Kendall, Nelson. I know I'm butchering all these names. Sorry, I suck at reading names. But yeah, love you all, and see you guys again next week. Bye.
Yeah, bye.